Hello everyone, Paul from High Tech Legion, CES 2014, and our coverage continues. We're here with Thermaltake. We're going to look at Ttesports, and we've got Kitty who's going to show us around and show us some of their newest products that they have available.
Thanks for dropping by, guys. There's a lot of stuff I want to show you guys. The first thing I want to show you guys is our DK branded gear. So basically, this is our first time we've done a full set with the esports gaming team. With White Route, we did do a mouse and mouse pad, and then with Team Prime, we have done the keyboard and the mouse pad. But this is the first time we've actually went the full 9 yards, I would say, and actually did an entire set with their colors and their color scheme, and we personalized everything to have their logo and their name on it. So for our Chronos headset, as you can see, we normally have the Dragon logo, but we actually have their name lit up here. So for people who are big fans of this team, this is a great set for them. The price points are all really competitive, and you're pretty much getting, this is the Chronos, it's priced at $59.99 MSRP. It's the same for the DK one, so you're not paying anything more to get their color scheme. And if you guys don't know DK, they're a really popular Dota 2 team, and they've been doing really well in Dota. So this is a great set also for people who are big fans of Dota. We have the mousepad at $19.99 MSRP. The Saphira mouse is actually rebranded for them at $39.99 MSRP, as well as the knuckle keyboard at $39.99 MSRP. I will note that this is a production sample, so the final production will have letters on it. Okay. This one is just a sample, so it's just to give you guys a look at what the color scheme will look like. Yeah.
Understood. Well, that's very nice.
So we also have a lot of new mice or mouses. I always say like both because people debate about this all the time with me. These ones aren't necessarily new, but we wanted to showcase it just because we wanted to show our stuff with White Rock, who's our professional gamer who does StarCraft 2 and a bunch of other stuff now. But we have a mouse with him, and the Thera mouse, which is geared more towards RTS gamers. These are new colors that we are finally offering. In 2013 for CES, we did unveil a bunch of different colors, but now these are the ones we've chosen, so we wanted to show them off.
Okay.
But we do have a brand new mouse in the Level 10M line. And so this is our new Level 10M wireless mouse. It's also a hybrid mouse, and the reason why is because you can use it as both a wired or wireless mouse. So this mouse has pretty much all the same features as the Level 10M gaming mouse, except now it has the wireless capabilities, and it's $99.99 MSRP. So you're paying the same price with all the additional features.
Okay.
A little bit about the mouse. The wireless transmitter is here, but it also acts as extra support for your hand for resting. So I like that little change. It's very subtle, but it helps a lot. For me, it's a world of difference. So right here, there's a cap for the wireless and wired port. So if you want to use it for a wired connection, you can just plug in the cap right here, close it. Well, I actually did the wrong way. I don't know front from back. So you close it here, snap it on, and then you close it up. Or you can take it off and put the wireless cap on it, just to keep it clean. So with the technology, I want to talk a little bit about it. Right now we're looking at 3 hours charge time, up to 15 hours play for battery life. We are using 5.8 gigahertz technology frequency instead of 2.4, and that's just because when we were weighing the options, we wanted to go with 5.8 because you're less likely to run into interference. And with the mouse, you're not using a ton of bandwidth, so we thought this would be a lot more reliable choice, especially when it comes to wireless gaming. And this is our first wireless mouse, so we wanted to make sure that you didn't run into any of those issues. So, yeah, that's our new wireless mouse. We also have a new mouse called the Ventus. And the Ventus is a completely new mouse. I know I showed you stuff that you're familiar with those mouses, but this is a completely new mouse. And this one's called the Ventus because it's got, I think this is why I named it. I'm not sure if this is my reason, is that there's a lot of ventilation. It's got the same, I don't know, it's got the same honeycomb design as the Level 10M mouse. So you can see it has a lot of places where air can pass through and keep the mouse cool. So the Ventus mouse is actually an ambidextrous mouse, and it's our first ambidextrous mouse. It doesn't have a ton of features like the weights and all these macros, but what we wanted to do was get into mouses for left-hand gamers too. So we want to do a nice base that's priced at $49.99 MSRP, and we want to do a nice base to see how they liked it. But you know, it's got some really cool, sleek design, like the logo in the back lights up and it kind of pulses. So that's our new mouse.
All right.
And it's sitting on top of a new mouse pad we have too.
It is.
Yes, that's a new Draconom aluminum mouse pad. It's actually double-sided. We have one side that's for control and precision, and the other side is more for glide and for speed. So the side you're looking at right now is more the precision side.
Okay.
And it does come with the mouse bungee right here, so it's included. So that's just a little bit added feature to help you manage your area up here, desk area. And so this is the glide side. You can put the mouse, but actually you can put it anywhere. So you put it depends on where you're coiling your cables. I guess you might have your mouse plugged in somewhere else.
Okay.
But that's double-sided, and it's priced right now $39.99 MSRP.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else on?
Yeah, we've got a ton. We've got new keyboards.
All right.
Yeah. So the one I wanted to talk about first is the Velox keyboard.
Okay.
It's this keyboard right here. And this is really similar to our Challenger series. It's our new membrane gaming keyboard line. And so basically, this is our new keyboard for the membrane line that we have. We're kind of adding some new features that we didn't add on the Challenger. The first is the backlighting is blue LED, but we are offering options where you can change the brightness or you can change the style. So it has something called pulsing or breathing,
Okay.
so that's where it fades in and out gently. It has up to 10 macro keys, as you can see, 5 on each side, up to 4 profiles, and we actually have something called the ISS on this now, so it's the instant switch system, which
Okay.
allows you to switch back and forth through your profiles
Okay.
for gaming. And it's also got the USB ports at the top, and of course the detachable cable, which is easy for coiling up and taking with you. It's priced at $69.99 MSRP right now. So that's our Velox keyboard. And then over here we have our mechanical keyboards. We have a ton of new keyboards, but we're really focusing on our Poseidon Z.
Okay.
And that's because we have this new thing called the TT Certified Mechanical Switch. It's a 5-year warranty. You can see this label right here. That means it's a guaranteed warranty for 5 years. So the difference between the original Poseidon that we did announce is that one was it didn't have that code of the blue
Okay.
switch. So now with the new Poseidon Z, it comes with switches that we personally worked with the manufacturers to customize the way that we like it. So it's competitive to the cherry switches, and actually we have 2 cells on the side for you guys to test, so
Okay.
you can tell the difference. And the majority of people have not been able to get it right. It's so subtle that you can't tell the difference at all. So
Okay.
I challenge you guys to test that later. With the Poseidon Z, we're offering it in blue switches right now. Its MSRP is $79.99, which is very competitive for a mechanical keyboard, especially with a 5-year warranty. It's got all your basic features that you should have in a gaming keyboard, the anti-ghost and key rollover, and the ABS body construction. So with this is the standard. We also have a 10 keyless version called the Poseidon X. The Poseidon X is your smaller, more compact version for people who do like mechanical keyboards, but also the landing, and they might want something a little bit more easy to store and bring with them. So for our Poseidon X, we offer it in 3 different switches. We offer it in blue, red, and brown right now.
Okay.
And that one's also $79.99 MSRP.
Awesome.
So those are pretty standard, reliable gaming mechanical keyboards. But we do have a high-end
Okay.
mechanical keyboard which has all like the bells
All
and whistle
the
features.
bells and
yeah.
whistles, the
So that's for
functions.
people who maybe just want something that's standard, like in terms of you don't need all those extra macro keys. And then for somebody who does, they can look at our Balmus option. Our Balmus is a new mechanical line, and it's actually aluminum body. Look at it right here. Yes.
That is aluminum.
It is indeed. It's cold. Nice. As you can see, they have the USB ports and audio jacks at the top, just kind of like our VLX and our Challenger series. We have the 10 macro keys, 5 on each side. Back blue lighting. It's doing the breathing lighting effects right now, so this one also has the lighting options of changing the brightness levels or the pulsing breathing option. So this also has ISS, so it has the instant switch system, so you can go back and forth through your 5 profiles that are on this keyboard. And this is priced at $139.99 MSRP right now, and it has brown switches.
Okay.
So right now just brown, but in the future, hopefully, more,
Different
depending
types.
on what people like.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our Balmus keyboard. Right here we have this isn't a new keyboard, these are keycap accessories. So right now you're looking at it on a Poseidon body.
Okay.
And when we offer the switches, they will be for the Poseidon. So we're looking into developing our own keycaps right now. We decided just to pick the most flashy one, just because if you're going to show it off, go for something on the extreme. So this is our rainbow keycap accessory, and we're looking to release it at the end of this year. So there'll probably be some minor changes to the color, or if we get some feedback, then you know, it might be different. So this is priced at $29.99 MSRP, and just because a lot of people thought that it's going to be blank, actually the letters and the numbers are all at the bottom right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like stuff.
All right.
Yeah, so that's it for the keyboard side. We still have headsets, which is our last but not least.
Okay.
So for the Chronos, we have 2 additional headsets within that family. And the original Chronos is sitting at the top of the white. That's a headset that we've already announced and people are familiar with. And we saw over there earlier the DK set. So with the Chronos, we have the new Chronos Go, which is a smaller, more compact version of our Chronos. It's got all the same features, except the one major difference is that it has a retractable mic now on the inside, right here on the left cup. So this one's a lot more compact, it's a lot smaller. This is for people who maybe want, I would say there's different levels of our Chronos, and there's different options for people that they can have. So for this one, it's $49.99 MSRP as opposed to the regular $59.99 MSRP of the Chronos. For our for our Chronos AD, which is also known as alternative design, it's a little bit bigger than our original Chronos. It also has this double headband right here, which is auto adjusting, and that's good for long-term usage. It's just extra comfort for people who use it long-term, because the headband makes sure that the pressure is not all sitting at the top.
Okay.
And this one also has a retractable mic right here that comes out from the side. All of these are PC and mobile ready. And so you can use it with the USB or the 3.5mm jack if you wanted to use it with your phone or some other device other than your computer. So that was priced at $69.99 MSRP.
Very good.
So we have 2 more new headsets that I want to talk about before you guys leave, and one of them is called the Verto headset. So the Verto headset, I want to compare it to the Level 10M headset. And so with the Level 10, we designed that with BMW Design Works, the USA company. So with the Verto, this is actually our design, and this is geared more towards people who like headsets or peripherals that are kind of flashy, and they have a little bit of, you know, they're more about design. They're very aesthetically pleasing. And this one is an aluminum headset, but it's really, really lightweight. It's got the auto-adjusting headband like the other Chronos AD right here, so it's the double adjusting headband for extra comfort. This is also PC and mobile ready, so you don't have to necessarily use it with your PC. You can use it with your phone or any other devices you want. And this one is priced at $79.99 MSRP right now, but it is
3.5mm.
Yeah. This is a little bit of an early sample, so there might be some small adjustments, but we wanted to show everybody that we're working on another design kind of similar to the Level 10M series. So that's that one, and we do have another one right here. If I can hop over, skedaddle over. I almost fell, but I was trying to play it off. So this is our Sabaris headset. It's another product that we're releasing that's wireless. So we're doing a really big push towards wireless devices right now. This is our first wireless headset. It's Bluetooth NFC ready. It's got this detachable mic, as you can see right here. So as you can see, you don't have to necessarily use it with gaming. You can use it pretty much anything that has a Bluetooth that you can connect it to. You can use it to connect it to your phone. You can use it to connect it to your tablet. I use it with my tablet a lot. So you can actually use the mic too if you want to make calls. But it's very versatile. It's basically geared towards gamers who are people who also like to listen to music. You do a lot of other things. So it's geared towards gamers who have a lot of other stuff going out. So this one is priced at $139.99 MSRP, and we're looking at 3 hours for charging, 100 standby, and 16 for battery life. So that's our new wireless headset. So that's pretty much it. We have a lot of new things, but thank you for dropping by and looking at the products we have. We'll have a lot more information about our products coming up within the year, so thank you for dropping by and look forward to seeing you guys again.
All right, everyone. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the more familiar stuff from Thermaltake, and that would be cases, which a lot of you are probably using right now. I have Shannon here. He's going to go ahead and give us a show of their new lineup and maybe a few different things.
Okay, thanks, Paul. First of all, we want to take a look at 2 brand new chassis. They're actually very high-end enthusiast level chassis from us, because before you've seen where we've had like our liquid cooling fitment, things like that, you can fit like maybe a 240mm rad on it. Well, now we have definitely stepped it up some. We took a case, we basically made it a complete hybrid, either super high-end air, super high-end water design, depending on what you want. It comes default, not like this obviously, it comes default with full drive trays up here and 2 200mm fans in the front, 1 200mm at the top, and a 140 in the back. But you can strip all this stuff out. You can fit 2 420 radiators, one in the front, one in the top. You can fit all the way up to a 280 at the bottom and a 140 in the back, and that's on the T81. And you get all this at a price point of about $189.99. And when you're installing these radiators, there's a good thing to note is that we actually designed it in mind that we know that some of the spacing on radiators can be a little different. So we actually have slotted holes so that you can not only fit even odd radiators, but you can actually slide them to move them to make optimal tubing placement, things like that. Just makes life a lot easier for enthusiasts building just a ridiculous high-end system. And even if you do rip all these drive trays out, come take a look at this air-cooled one and I'll show you a cool feature about this. As you can see, these are your modular drive bays. You can pull them out. This is 3 drive bays. This can pull out, and then these 2 down here can pull out. You can pull all those out like you saw in the liquid-cooled one, and you still have a bracket right here that can actually go anywhere up and down on this rail and allows a vertical mounting of a hard drive. And also, with 4 screws, you can pull each one of these 5 1/4 out, so you can literally have the whole front free like you saw in the other liquid-cooled build.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the next one, this is like its brother, because we have 2 different design aesthetics with this. The water cooling type fitness, very similar. It has the same amount of fans, same fan design, 2 200s in the front, 1 200 in the top, 1 140 in the back. However, just like the T81, you can fit a second 200 if you wanted to, if you're just going full air cooling and you want something insane. And the cool thing about 200 mil fans is that they move a ton of air without making like hardly any noise at all. But if you decide to go crazy and just rip everything out of this one, once again you can see the only difference in liquid cooling fitment between this one and the T81 is this one, because of the slightly different design, it only will allow up to a 240, which still isn't bad at the bottom, and a 120 in the rear. But the 420 on the top and front still fit just fine like anything else. And also, if you're just putting just like a push setup in your radiator or a pull through the front, you can even leave the 200 mil fans in place just as supplemental airflow and just distributing a little bit of more cooling and exhausting airflow to the chassis. Now, when you're building a crazy system like this, you'll notice that the air-cooled one has this large bracket here. We didn't want that in front of your view of your this big open window. So we made this. We actually engineered it so that you can unscrew it and it flips over, and you can see it goes right here behind the door, so you can't even see it. It's just gone. So you just get a nice big pretty view of a crazy liquid-cooled system if that's what you want. But another thing is, we're trying to find as many solutions as possible to make a good experience with this chassis. And one thing we saw was on the market, when you're removing drive bays, a lot of times you just have 2.5 mounts, which means you're limited to like SSD capacity, high price, or laptop hard drives, but still, they're limited in capacity compared to a large 3.5-inch drive. So we decided, why waste these drive bays? So when you remove them, if you come around here, I'll show you how we kind of implemented a good solution to allow you to mount here. Now, we took these, and you basically have some phantom drive mounts on the back. You actually can mount 2 of these guys, and you can see it actually has native mounting holes for 2.5 drives or SSDs, or you can mount your full-size big drives, because let's face it, if you build a big system like this, you may want to store some larger data on there. And it's very simple. You just drop it on there, snap it into place, run your wires to it, and since this plate's all pretty much you can't see most of it, you're not going to see your drives, from the other side, so it just looks like there's no drives there at all, but in reality you have your storage there. Also, you have a lot of separate little holes here for mounting various things from reservoirs, pumps, things like that, just to make, if you are building a crazy enthusiast system, make it just a little easier for you. One thing that's really nice is we've always had our land box chassis. Well, we went through and changed a few things in the design, because this is still the base land box. You can see it has removable modules like you've seen before. We changed it up to an urban design because people really tend to like the sleek design of it. We also added an option to be able to mount like a Water 3.0 unit here, or even a 140 based unit, whatever you decide to use. You have an SSD mount here, and we removed where the hard drives used to be here. Now they're under where the water unit would be. There's a 2-drive mount there. So therefore, by removing it from here, now you can run any length graphics card and be perfectly fine, and you can run 2 graphics cards. So technically, obviously airflow dependent, you can run some super high-end dual graphics card and just have an amazing small form factor build, but based on micro ATX.
Okay.
On our power supply side, we have our Tough Power Grand. We have between our Tough Power Grand and the Tough Power DPS. Now, one cool part about these new designs is you'll notice they have a different fan grill, but most importantly, fully modular. People have been asking about it, and honestly, it's kind of a give or take when it comes to, I guess it's personal opinion, but 24-pin, 8-pin, making it fully modular when in reality, every system uses at least 24-pin 8-pin. So modular to me has always been removing cables that you don't use. Well, you're always going to use 24-pin 8-pin, but however, now that sleeving and modding is becoming so big for us, because a lot of modders have been asking, especially with this sleek design of like the Grand Series and now the DPS, they've really pushed us to do the full modular, and we've done it. And you'll notice also we have a USB connection here. That's for the to connect to the motherboard, so that you can use the software. And that's where a lot of time was spent for our digital PSU. So right now I'll do a quick overview and kind of show you exactly where the software works, because a lot of people kind of, and I've said this quite a few times now, but a lot of people have asked me, like, why are you guys so late to digital power supply? But in reality, we've had the hardware for a while, but we simply we wanted to perfect the software, because a lot of times when you look at some of the software included with units like this, they can be clunky, kind of Windows 95-esque, square. We wanted this to be something you'd expect to see on your tablet or your phone, something just very nice, easy to use. So you can see it just has a large gauge for whatever you're actively monitoring, but it's also running and it's updating all the time in real time. You can see that you have temperature, voltage, amperage, fan speed. There's even efficiency, wattage, and cost. Cost is a really cool one. Let me squeeze by here for you. When you set your cost up, you can actually enter your kilowatt hour price and monitor this to see how much it's costing to run your system. Now, this may seem like kind of a weird feature, but especially with the takeoff of like the mining rigs, things like that, where people are really watching their efficiency and what's going on, you can actually monitor this and even keep track of it, since we have 6-hour database files. So you can actually pull up all your database files, because keep making them as long as the system's running. And you can actually see how much it's costing, what the temperature was, where there are spikes in amperage, efficiency, where was everything at. You can follow it straight through. And you can see all the different voltage rails, what was the voltage it was reading, how many watts was it seeing being pulled. So you can see, like, if there's a specific time of day, maybe where your system's ramping up and using more power, you can investigate that, see if it's happening every day. Then you can even go there and watch it during that time and see what's going on, what's happening. Is it getting hotter? What's the deal? So that helps you save money, because you can fine-tune your system to better work with your power usage. And then also a pretty cool thing is that we actually have a 1250 watt Platinum Edition digital that's coming out pretty soon. And that's going to be a price point of about $315 or $314.99. But that's the MSRP for it. And something really cool, kind of a sneak peek for people out there, is we have this liquid cooling here. This is not final. This is actually just kind of a demo to show you some things we've been working on in our lab and developing and trying to create something really cool for you guys. So this is not like to compete with the high-end guys. This is more like your entry level, similar to like what Big Water was, but much more improved, because it's a standard G1/4. It'll fit, you can take your bits power fittings, hook them up, or whatever you want. You can hook this to any other radiator. You can use larger tubing with larger fittings. You could integrate it into other radiators, integrate it into the blocks. It doesn't matter. It's basically just meant to be individual components that you can get at more of a value, but still get great performance. Okay, so these are the water cooling components we were showing you before. Like I said, these aren't necessarily final or even 100% official. We just want to show you kind of what we're working on and testing with, and trying to figure out what we can do cool for the enthusiast who maybe doesn't want to spend $900 on liquid cooling equipment. Maybe they want to spend a few $100 and get something pretty nice. So you can see, first of all, this one doesn't have a pump. It actually has the fittings and everything here. So you can do all that, and you can go bottom, side, or top. Here's the one that was actually in that system. This one has a pump on the bottom. Once again, it's a 1/4, so therefore you can actually hook up any type of fittings. You don't have to use the R's, even though these are R's. You can do that, hooks up straight to a fan port. Pump works great. I mean, you saw it working over there. Keeps it nice and cool. And it even has an actual, when it goes into the refill tube, it actually comes through here, so therefore you don't get the splashback if you're coming through the top and causing the air recirculation. And then the radiator. Now, this is something, it's kind of a point of contention when it comes to some users. And for anyone who's used a lot of liquid cooling like myself, I can tell you, it's a back and forth. You're always going to have the argument, but at the end of the day, this thing works really well. It's a heater core style radiator. It's not like your standard tube and fin, so some people are going to cry foul and say, hey, those things suck, whatever. But at the end of the day, we've tested them against other popular, like value series radiators, and other ones that cost actually much more than what this thing would actually be targeted at. You're only talking a few degrees C on delta, a good difference between them. And once again, you have your quarter fittings, and you can do push-pull. But the great thing about it, since it's such an open setup, you can actually run like really low-speed PWM fans and still get great performance out of it, which means you can have a practically silent liquid cooling system that's going to keep things mostly really nice and cool for you. However, if you're cranking things up and super, doing like an insane overclock, you're probably going to want to go with the higher end stuff, as you saw like in our liquid cooled builds over there on those new chassis. So we want to leave that market open for anyone who wants it, but we also want to offer something value for everyone. And now, Paul, we've had the same fans for a while.
Yes.
We let them ride, but it's time to update. Every once in a while, we got to shuffle things up. So we got our Luna fans. These are our more higher end fans. They have anti-vibration rubber mounting. They're LED lit, either white, blue, red. And then you have our Pier series. Our Pier is your basic fan. It just works. Oh, let me show you this real quick. The Luna is actually very similar in design because we found a very good fan design with our Water 3.0. You can see that it's a dual swept blade. So it actually has a step right through the middle of it. It's like two different curves. Works really well, gets a nice static pressure to it. And as you heard through those systems over there, you couldn't really hear them. And those were full tilt 12 volt. So, they're moving 50 CFM there, and they're not audible over anything else that is in this room. In the Pier series, this is LED version. All of the clear plastic ones are LED. They actually have a pretty deep swept blade. Once again, we know that liquid cooling become more popular, so we're definitely focusing a bit more on substatic pressure so that you get, no matter if you put on radiators or whatnot, you're going to get a little more push to get the air through there. So we're definitely focusing on that, which works well on air coolers as well, but you can see how the blade twists. It's a bit different than our previous fan designs. We've been spending a lot of time re-engineering these fans before we released them. So once again, white, blue, red, or non-LED, just black plastic. So for those who don't like the blingy bling, don't like the lights, you've got your black plastic, or you've got the light up ones if you want to show that off. Either way, we even go up to 140 and also 200 mil, so that you can pretty much fit anything that our chassis might need. For our drive dock solutions, you've seen our Black X before. This is the Black X Urban. It's a single drive dock, USB 3.0, and Wi-Fi. So therefore, you can connect it with your tablet, mobile device, even your laptop, what have you. And also, this can work as a wireless bridge as well. So therefore, you can stream data from it, add data to it, use it backup, whatnot, or you can use it to hub out, or you can use it as a bridge for your network to seed out. Either way, it's a pretty unique solution we wanted to come up with to offer people another way to be able to share stuff within, especially within their household or business place. And it was something that, let's face it, wireless is becoming more and more popular. So it was just like a natural adaptation for the Black X series. Now for our NIC series for air coolers, we don't have a whole lot here. NIC series has actually been really good. The only change we really made is it's a slightly different design change for the fan, as you can see, the fin design. It's different than what you've seen before. Also, we went to a 140 mil on this guy, on the L32, which means you can get a decent amount of airflow out of the bigger fan at a lower fan speed and less noise. And it still carries the same NIC series, no RAM compatibility problems, so you put that thing on any board and you're not going to have any problems fitting tall RAM or whatever, it's going to be right next to it without an issue. And for the most part, other than that, we have a few laptop coolers. We have a value edition one, $20 price point, 20 cm fan. Simple, just works. Then we have the more highly featured, kind of like off-the-wall designs. Like, we come up with some really interesting stuff because laptop coolers, most of the time you just plug it in, you have a fan. But we wanted to give you some other solutions that actually really make a difference and actually aren't just a fan. This actually has touch point sensors, so it'll actually sense the temperature on 4 different points on your laptop, and it will adjust the fan speeds accordingly to get more cooling airflow around that part of your laptop. And then there's one that we've been getting a lot of awards on. It's been doing really well, so it's one I definitely want to touch on, is our Massive SP. And that's a dual speaker edition. So it has an LED fan that you can adjust, and then it has 2 speakers that have, so far from everyone's testing, I usually let the product speak for itself, and in this case it not spoke for itself, it sung for itself, because everyone was playing music and said this thing was amazing. It's gotten multiple awards. It's done really well, and I just hope people can notice that, we're really trying to change things up when it comes to pretty much everything and just offering a really awesome experience with our hardware.
Well, thank you.
Hey, thank you for having us. Or
Hey,
for
guys.
coming by.
As you can tell, Shannon and I have been talking a lot. We're losing our voices. We're doing the best we can to provide you with some great coverage here from Thermaltake. Please excuse the hoarseness. It is basically for Shannon and High Tech Legion our last day here. We've been here a long time.
We've been here together a long time.
Exactly.
Feels like weeks.
So, stay thirsty, my friends. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.